since they changed the scale. Because I hadn't heard anything about it from you or not. So if you ever are, you can talk to me about it, because I'm trying to help with anything that anyone has a question about. But that's what I was really gonna go over the most, and I feel like it was really important for me to do that. Because it's been a couple weeks that we've been on that new pay scale. So the first thing that I put on here is handing out the cards, especially to neighbors and building a clientele. That's the first thing I put down for how you can get your PPH to go up higher. So if it's slow, one thing they've been talking about in the manager meetings is going next door and handing out your cards. And then whoever wants to do that, of course, that would be in your benefit that you're giving your card out. It wouldn't be like the Salon card. You know, you can hand your card out, because that's also self-promotion, which also helps with your clientele. I know that I hand my card out wherever I go, and I know that that is a big piece of why I get a lot of requests, is because if I go eat a Tipsy Taco, I leave my card and then I tell that person, hey, thanks for your service today, come see me next door. Or one time I went to get my fingernail fixed at the salon, and even though I don't go there, I told the girl, because I saw she had dandruff, and that's a touchy topic, but she came in for a tea tree service the next morning because I sold her on it and I gave her my card. I try to do it at Publix too, and letting them know they get that discount on a haircut helps. But even if it's like if it's slow and there's two people working, you could go next door and start handing cards out. All of these businesses get discounts. You know, all of this side gets discounts. And I know that that would make a big difference in the self-promotion and what you put into it for your clientele. It's gonna really come back on, you know, to help you if the walk-ins are slow, but then you're busy with your clients because you're getting requests. And then the non-production, I'm just reminding to make sure that you're doing the non-production before and after. But I think that everybody in here has been remembering to do that for the most part. And then just the clocking out part. So I know for me, if my relief is here and there's nobody else waiting to get a haircut and it's like 5 minutes before I'm supposed to be done, I go ahead and clock out, even if I'm gonna fold towels before I leave or clean the bathroom, because I would just rather go ahead and clock out. My relief is clocked in, there's 3 people clocked in, so now I can go ahead and clock out. And even though I'm still cleaning the bathroom, it's not gonna take me 30 minutes to do that. That's what I've been doing for that part. So clocking out at the appropriate times too. And then just the rotation on the clients, just remembering to follow in rotation, because maybe if somebody's turn was up and then somebody else took it, then that could affect their productivity. And then the upselling, and that's why I was looking at that, because the week that I printed off right here, it was the slower week, but I didn't print like yesterday's from that week. This was the 7th to the 13th. This week, I was gonna look and see for more, but Supercut 2s, Anna did 3 of them. Me, Sarah, Catherine, Billy only did 1. So I only looked at Supercut 2, but just the upselling, especially if it's slow, that one person in your chair, the more likely that you upsell that one person, the higher your sales are if it's a slower day. So a tea tree service, usually people come back and get those consistently. If you sell them on one, they love it so much that they'll get it every time. I know a lot of my guys continue to get them, and that's $10 added. You know, a beard is $10 if you see someone has a beard. I know that I'm really bad about upselling waxes, so that's been my goal, is to offer the women the wax, because
yeah, it's so awkward, because I never want to be like rude about it.
Yeah, I've tried it just to, like, especially if I'm at the shampoo bowl, it's made me remember more, because I'm like looking around, shampoo's on there, and I see the wax, and I'm like, oh, maybe she'll want to get her eyebrows waxed, or I'm like seeing it better because I'm shampooing, and for some reason, I don't know why, I remember it more back there. But just upselling the tickets are really important, and even if it is just a shampoo, because that's kind of a low number, I feel like, for a week's worth, but that was a slower week, I do know that. But I mean, even myself, it was a low, I feel like, for shampoos added to a haircut. So just remembering to upsell, and I know most of us have been doing that, but even when I check them in or on the phone, I try to offer it right off the bat, because a lot of times, instead of saying, do you just want a haircut, or adding it right, you know, a haircut and shampoo together, usually they say yes, instead of saying just a haircut, because it's not as inviting. And I know that you were on that manager meeting when we learned about it, and I never did that. I used to say just a haircut, and it doesn't sound as inviting. And just adding a shampoo alone can really help sales. And then the products, I know a lot of times I come in and there hasn't been products sold all day. And so, you know, really focusing on the product sales and getting familiar with products that you're not so used to, so that way we're broadening our products to upsell those, because we all get the commission off of that. And the color as well. A lot of women don't know we do color, so talking about color, even if they come back in to see you the next time, is just a really good upselling as well, of course, because that one's really more pricey. And then kind of that goes back into the next thing, is the charging appropriately. I have noticed sometimes, and maybe you've seen me adjust the ticket for you, which I don't really wanna do that, but I want you to get what you're worth in your time, because if someone's spending 30 minutes on a blow dry, and then I see that you're not charging for any kind of blow dry at all, I think that you're downselling yourself and the store and your sales, because now that's 30 minutes of your hour that we're supposed to be doing 48 plus now. And I've said it before that the anxiety of it being too much for someone is on them. Like, give them the opportunity to say if it's too expensive. Instead of assuming it's too expensive, I've been just telling them the price. I don't say it like it's high, you know, I just say it. Shampoo cut blow dry, 58 bucks. And they're, most of the time, I've seen that they haven't been complaining about it. If I break it down, I feel like it is, because then they're gonna say, oh, well, it's 20, half of it's the whole blow dry. I can't do anything about that. I don't make the prices, but I can change the way I'm approaching it to the person. And if I'm telling them before I do it, the anxiety about it is not as strong, because to me, it's worse if I didn't tell them and then I'm gonna check them out and I'm like, oh no, what if this person can't afford it? Well, let them choose. If they can't afford it, I'm gonna sell them a Supercut 3, which is 100% dry, but not a full style. And then I can still get an upsale, and the person still gets a style, but not 58, maybe it's 35.
Going back to that, is our printer working now?
The printers, yeah, the
Okay,
printer is
cool.
working.
I'd love to print out the prices of the blow dries, cause I know for me, it takes forever for me to find it.
Yeah.
And so it'd be nice to just have it printed and just look it
Well,
up.
printing the sale service list, the computer actually doesn't even have that print button anymore.
Oh.
But,
Okay, I'll figure something out.
because I used to print those when I was training people so they can get used to the prices, and you
Yeah.
can't even print it as an option. But what I can do is take a picture of it on my phone and try to see if I can print it from my phone, because now I can print from my phone. And I don't know how that works, cause I'm still getting used to it, but maybe it'll let me print it as a photo.
Yeah, 'cause
out,
even if it's
even
just
though
the
it would
blow
look-
dry style, just like having that, cause
Yeah.
I just can't memorize all those prices, it's just too many numbers.
Yeah, and our color prices change, so that sheet that we have is actually inaccurate. I need to throw them away. Actually, I thought about it yesterday, I have not thrown them away yet. But the charging appropriately, I think, is a big thing, because a lot of times, I think people are leaving with 100% dry hair and not getting charged for it. So if you finger dry it and it's 100% dry, we should have charged a Supercut 3. It shouldn't be, because you're taking your time on it, and, you know, the, Supercut by itself is 80% dry. So like drying a little bit so the person's not dripping wet if it's snowing outside, but if you're doing a whole blow dry, it's taking more of your time.
So another question with that is, I know when we're doing the cut, we have the option of the super cut to make it a little bit cheaper if we don't use a hot tool and just get 100% dry. What would be the appropriate amount to, after a color, to just do that and get it 100% dry but not style it? Is there a way to charge for that?
Maybe if we did the other style button, so there's a button that says other style and you can modify the price on it.
Okay. Yeah, 'cause that
So
might
I would
be-
say that would be appropriate, because if it's still 100% dry, but I didn't like blow it out in section, each inch, whatever. I know that today, that girl with the red hair, I did a Supercut 3. I did pin up one section in the
She had too
crown.
much hair for it to be 100% dry without you doing that.
Well,
mean,
and I told her the price, and I offered it, I told her if I did the fast dry, it's 33 or whatever it was. Which, also going back to charging appropriately, my time was like 35 minutes. So 33, I was about there, because as you know, y'all both know, it's about $1 per minute if you're not sure, so. Which if you're telling them the price beforehand, then hopefully if you're nervous about how long, then you just charge a little bit up. It's rather to be a little high and then it's lower at the end than you thought, than not be higher and not enough. Or being lower and not enough. Yeah. But yeah, I haven't thought about that honestly. So if it's a color and they still want it 100% dry but not actually sectioned and blown out with a full blowout, I would say maybe like half of the other one.
Okay. That seems fair.
Unless it's gonna take you longer than that. Per
I'm
minute.
just trying to blow dry all my colors now.
I know. I wish
It's really expensive.
I've been trying it too, and me and Sarah Catherine were talking about this again the other day, Billy, that when we just tell them the price with the blow dry included in the color, again, the same way that I'm saying that I did with the shampoo cut blow dry, I've been just saying it like that instead of saying, do you want to add the blow dry, it's 25 extra. Like that doesn't sound as inviting to just saying it's a total of 58. Hopefully they're not irritated when they see the receipt broken down, but I told them the whole price, and that's ultimately what I need to do before I do it, because I don't want them to be surprised and I'm gonna have anxiety the whole time I'm blowing it out. Are they gonna be able to pay for this after this? Like, cause that's how I am, so I just feel like it's all better if I just tell them. But telling them the blow dry included with the color is what me and Sarah Catherine have been doing. Again, and giving them the option. If they say that's a little pricey for me, that's when Supercuts, the way we charge a la carte, comes in, and we're like, well, what if we just do a large triangle instead of the extra large triangle? Or what if we take the blow dry style off? And then we can talk to them about how we can adjust the price, which is ultimately why we have a million buttons for the colors, because if it's too expensive, we can adjust that, but maybe we can offer them the higher one first with the full package and give them the option to speak for themselves instead of us thinking it's just too much. Because I think Greenville actually is charging really high for stuff right now. Anyway, I know it sounds expensive to me too, because it's like double for a Supercut 2 to add a blow dry. It's literally like double. And I think it sounds a little expensive too, but I think if it's 58, and I don't know, I keep saying 58 because somebody did $58 the other day. It was me or you, I can't remember. For a blow dry flat iron, or a blow dry cut.
Yeah.
Somebody's was 50 something.
Yeah.
But honestly, that doesn't sound that much to me in a whole, personally.
Because it is.
If I went to go get my hair done, I would be willing to pay $58 for a shampoo cut blow dry. There's people charging a whole haircut for $75 to $100. It's not a Supercuts. I'm just saying, like, I think that somebody would be willing to pay $58 because they got all three of those things together. And it's I don't like saying we're a discount salon, but I guess that's what it is. But anyways, I just wanted to say that because charging appropriately is a really big deal. So if you're spending 30, 45 minutes and not charging for a blow dry when you did one, that's hurting yourself. It's hurting your sales and the salon sales, and you're giving it service for free. And then on top of that, when I get that person next time and they tell me what happened, and then I'm gonna have to correct it. I'm gonna tell them, no, I have to charge you for that. I'm sorry that happened last time. But anyway, and then timing your services is a big one, although I think that everybody here is pretty fast, but that is a big thing with your PPH as well, is obviously the faster you are on the busier days, the more haircuts you're gonna get in one time. So and that kind of goes in with the next one that I put on here, because I have noticed this too, with the walk-ins and the call-aheads together. So if you're timing your services, like today, we were super crazy in the beginning especially, and honestly, that's why I sat the guy down before we opened, because to me, I know there's other people waiting. I'd rather just start on somebody. If I'm working alone, I've been doing that.
I'm fine with that if the drawer's done. It made me really uncomfortable to still be counting while he was in here.
Gotcha.
I'm totally A-okay with that in other circumstances.
Yeah, and then, so like usually, I guess on the mornings that I'm alone, sometimes there's like 2 or 3 people and it's before 9 and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and start cutting here and I'll get the hot towels in between them. Like, grab just a few or something, and then I catch up when I'm not as busy with the hot towels or something like that. But, the walk-ins and the call-aheads, if someone's called ahead for 10:30 and someone walks in at 10:20, I'm taking the 10:20.
Right.
And I've noticed that some people are not doing that, and it's like we're becoming closer to the appointments where we're like only doing 30-minute increments only. But I know everybody can do a faster haircut if you have to. I'm not saying that it's ideal to do a 10-minute haircut, but if you can, it's going to help your PPH. Not me. I don't care if y'all wanna do that, but if you want your PPH to be higher, then trying to do it like that would help, and I know everybody can that works here, cause we're all fast. So, that person that called ahead, which is more important, again, that we're educating what that means to the person, because they should be aware that there could be additional time. I don't
I've been correcting every person that says appointment.
Yeah,
on
if
the
someone
phone, like you heard me
says-
say multiple times today.
Yeah, if someone says appointment, I'm saying, we don't do appointments, I can put you down as a call ahead, it's going to help with your wait time. And then that's it, I feel like that's been like the best way for me, the easiest, fastest way to say it, cause if you get too involved on the phone, you're gonna be on the phone forever, and they don't understand what that means, but I felt like I worded it that way, and it sounds like that makes sense to them. Because if I say, I can put you down as a call ahead, they're like, well, what does that mean? So I just say it quickly, all in one batch, or whatever, but again, if I have a walk-in, and that person's not here, I'm gonna take that person that walked in. Because I'm trying to get as many people in as I can. But also because I hate saying no to people, so that's just my style about that. So that was kind of with that. I think that if everybody was helping with each of these things all together to get better and better, even myself, I feel like our PPH could be higher. But does anybody else have any other ideas of how to get the productivity higher? Or do you think I covered it? Cause I was trying to think of every angle of how to get it higher.
Cause I know for me, like, I know that we've been trying to do the working alone stuff sometimes, which, that's okay, every now and then. I know if I work alone for like more than 10 to 15 hours a week, I start to get a little sadder, cause like, I like a team environment,
Yeah,
and so, I will say that on that point.
I gotcha. And I personally don't mind working alone, so that's why I don't care if I'm here 9 to 7 by myself. I personally like working alone. Not anything against anybody.
I mean,
But
wow,
usually-
Kyla, okay, fine,
But
we just won't
usually,
work with you.
I've been opening and closing sometimes by myself, and I think I also have gotten used to it, that sometimes when I do work with someone in the morning, I'm like, this is great. I'm so excited to see people, because I like to see y'all. But, which is why I'm glad I'm working Saturdays, cause I never see Billy, because we were not on the same Sunday, and I wasn't working here Saturdays. I've been really happy to be here on the weekends, but, anywho, I've been trying to also make myself alone more, so that everyone else could be with someone more. But I think that that's why my PPH has been higher, to be honest. I think that's one of the factors, because I've been alone sometimes, but
It's also just a safety thing.
But I know Rob and Megan have mentioned, my son's here, but, I know that Rob and Megan have mentioned that they said that they want 2 people here at a time now. It has changed.
But-
I don't think that you've been here to understand what was going on with this topic, but, Rob had suggested that if there is more people at a time, the PPH is gonna be lower, because now if all 3 of us were here and it's slow, and then here comes one haircut, that's only helping one of us. We're just having a meeting, so.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. No, I'm just letting you know.
No, sorry. Apologies.
No, I was just telling you.
You're good. I just got off work and I thought I was trying to get here before you had to leave. He hasn't had dinner yet.
It's okay.
You got something? Or
No, no, no.
you dinner?
No, I'm gonna pick up something anyway.
Alright, well, good, I'll talk soon. I did calm down.
Okay.
He got pretty obsessive. I'll be surprised if he gets upset again, so.
Okay.
It's fine.
Alright, thank you.
Like that. See you soon, okay?
I'll be done in just a few minutes, okay? I've been trying to just make the schedule how everybody wants it, so I have been really trying. I think that we need to hire a part-time person, and like I was telling you the other day, I'm still debating on that because I don't want other people to be feeling defeated about PPH. But at the same time, if you wanna take a week off, guess what? We need somebody, because I was thinking the same thing for myself in October, of taking a weekend off, and luckily we have billing on the weekends, so it helps a lot, but it's like, if someone wants time off, or if someone calls out, I feel like we might need the sixth person still, even if it's part-time, but I'm trying to be conservative because I'm trying to help with everyone's PPH as much as possible, and hopefully it's gonna be getting busier soon is what I really just hope, because this month with school, I feel like is affecting it, but I don't know. But then Boreana will be back and hopefully it'll be busier too.
Been getting our CEUs in. Like I said, been getting our CEU credits in.
Well,
Still gotta
it's only
get
4 hours.
Oh yeah, I couldn't remember what it was, but anywho, I feel like the newest thing that I added on here was handing out cards when we're slow, so I know that I'm going to do it. If anybody else wants to do that, again, it'll benefit you, as in, you can hand your own card out. I'm gonna go ahead and hand my own card out and let people know. Obviously, if they're busy, I'm not gonna do that, cause that's disrespectful, but I'm just gonna walk around and let them know, hey, I'd love for you to come over to Supercuts, I'll give you a 10% off. And also, if I say it like that, like, it makes them feel special, like, and if I think even if you wrote it on your card, I can't write it on mine because mine's blue, but if you write 10% off, they're gonna think you gave them something special, like, they get that 10% off, and, anyway, that can help get you a client, but also the store to be busier. And then, that was really mostly what I really wanted to talk about, and then the reminders was just answering the phone in rotation and making sure, or answering it on the second ring. And then, the follow-up part would be just like what I've been saying in the text messages about making sure that we're rotating on the bathroom and the mopping. I think that what would be better is to add, if I just marked on the schedule once a week who would mop, and I was gonna ask your guys' ideas about that, if you thought that would be better, because that way it'll be in a rotation or whatever again, instead of doing the full checklist again, if it was just the mopping, and then we have the
I
bathroom
mean, once
one.
Boreana's back, she gonna mop every shift anyway.
I know.
Like, I always feel bad, cause like she'll mop that morning, and I'm like, well, technically I'm doing the rotation, so I guess I'll mop again.
I know, I really do appreciate it, and I don't think that she's the one, like, I don't think that it bothers her that she's the only one.
No.
But, and then just remembering to be 15 minutes early. And then I was also just gonna remind everybody that the Gold Comb is on the education playground. So if you wanna enter in on the Gold Comb, to be checking on that, it's changed every month.
Yeah, I already sent mine in for this month.
Okay, cool. And then also the in-house contest, I put a question mark because I was just wondering, I feel like I have done a contest here before and I didn't feel like everyone was excited about it, so I haven't done one. But other salons are doing them, and I feel like their teams are super excited, and I don't know if you guys would be interested in doing one. My idea for next month was to see who could get more add-ons to a haircut, not including product, like more than they did this month, so that way everybody's included, even if you're part-time. Instead of saying who got the most tickets, it would be like who got more than they did last time. And I would add it up myself for this month once it's over, and then give y'all your number and see if you could get more. So like it would be Supercut 2 or 3 or color with a haircut instead of product, not including product.
Right.
But if y'all have a different idea, or if you guys don't think contests make you excited, then let me know. I don't
I
want
mean,
to.
I like that contest better because it's more competing against yourself. I don't do well competing against like other people because again, I like a team.
Yeah.
So, but that's more competing against yourself. So I like that idea.
What do you think? Okay, that way, and then we can see also how it affected your PPH, is what I was thinking, the ultimate goal for that, and then I'll have a price for it. But also just to see on here too, I printed that week off so you could look at the sales for that week. And it's crazy because Sarah Catherine, if you look, me and your sales are really close together, but guess what the difference was? It was the hours. And I was saying that before, that just because I schedule someone 35 or 40 hours doesn't always mean on the upper side of things, because when I saw the drastic PPH on here, I was trying to figure out what would have been the biggest difference, and, cause our sales are about the same, and it's just that you worked a few more hours than me, cause this is when I was at T1 or whatever on Wednesday, but, anyways, and, that was just something that I had to sort of throw in there. I'm not trying to pick you out. I'm
No,
just,
I mean, it's
I'm
fair,
only,
it's
I'm
just-
only saying it because our sales are literally almost the same.
Yeah.
$2 actually.
$2.
But, and the PPH being 60, I'm not even sure what the hourly would be for a stylist with 60 PPH. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I know it would have slid.
Yeah.
But, and then it kind of out, but,
Actually, less, 1.20 Here's 30. Yeah.
and then I also printed out the one that we have for the month so far, just so you guys can see what you've been at so far for this month, and if you, wanted to challenge yourself this week to bump that up more. This is our last, I think this is the last week for the month, right? This is, I think it is,
Full week, yeah.
so. But that's what I have, unless anybody else had anything to say with any of that. Or if there's any other concerns that you have